So with any client, with any change, even for myself, we have to chunk it down to the smallest possible goal that they feel 80 to 100% confident that they can achieve. So as with anything, you can't ask them to do three things at one time
Sure.
because it won't work. We're too busy. We don't it just won't work. So in the case of your mom, sitting down with her and saying, giving her two or three choices. So really narrowing the field of choice for her and then asking your mom which choice she feels most confident that she can actually implement. And then just that, and
Yeah.
then, getting her to buy into it because she's the one that said, you know what, I can add in 2 tablespoons of hemp seed to my cereal in the morning, right?
Right.
Like that is something super simple that people can do that, isn't life changing, but from a physiology standpoint, it sure is, right? Adding
Yeah.
that protein and those good fats in, but it's not taking anything away. It's just adding something. And that might be a really good place to start. So I find when people set goals, they often take things away. And then that, feeling of deprivation sinks in. So why not try to add something that's going to help you versus take
Sure.
it away? And that might be a really good place to start with people. Just add something simple, like we said, 2 tablespoons of hemp seed or a tablespoon of chia seed or coconut oil or even having a hard boiled egg. Like
Right.
that's something really simple that people can do without having to take away what they're already doing.
Do you do online coaching with your clients?
Yeah, we do. I'll coach with you.
I might email you after this and see if I can hook you up with my mom. Get you guys moving
Sure.
forward. You know how it is with family, right? You can't. It's hard to get people to
Oh,
listen.
listen. Yeah, it's, you know what? My uncle for years and years and years, made fun of me when I did a whole all holistic and, green and whatever. Meanwhile, he's my best client, lost 50 pounds, got, reversed diabetes, all this stuff. It took 7 years, but
Yeah, it took some
you
time.
know,
Oh
took some
man,
time.
that's
Yeah.
great. I like that.
Yeah.
Starting with breakfast, starting with insulin. You mentioned insulin kind of dysregulation. We know that's linked to a lot of negative consequences and side effects in your body. What other hormones do you guys try to optimize, and how do you optimize them?
So the major ones. So we do leptin, ghrelin, cortisol, insulin, estrogen, testosterone, and they all really come from gut and liver health. So, for someone like your mom, we would look at, the stress being placed on her liver and her digestive system because a lot of these things have to do with balancing liver and support and insulin and all the other hormones. They're all interconnected. You can't work on leptin without working on insulin. You can't work on testosterone without working on insulin. Like they really all seem to be centered around balanced blood sugar levels and a really good liver. So that's why I'm saying, like, even just taking a dogmatic diet, like name any of the popular diets right now,
The
you
paleo
know
diet.
whatever, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. If the liver's not up to snuff, forget it. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
It's not going to really help. If your digestive system sucks, good luck eating all that protein and the raw veggies and the nuts, because it's not going to work. So it really is going after your health first and your digestive system, and then figuring out what way of eating works best for that person. And maybe it is paleo after all. Maybe it is. um, but from a hormonal perspective, you have to look at all six of those hormones and really think about what it is that's going to help to regulate them all at the same time.
sure, sure. And that comes down to those tiny little lifestyle and nutrition changes that
Tiny.
affect it over the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to overhaul your life in 5 minutes or less to reap really good results. I mean, just stop drinking with your meals and you won't be bloated anymore. Like it's really that simple.
So like I said, you've coached like thousands of people, and you've coached nutritionists. What if you do you have any more, like maybe five more of your biggest tips that you can give people that are the easiest to implement? Things like don't drink water after meals, where you don't have to do anything. You don't have to go buy anything or read a
Right.
book. You just got to do it.
Yeah, this might be a little bit controversial because it contains aspartame, but the fact is that a lot of people experience, and I'm going to do the action. So for people who are listening, I'm sort of like nibbling with my mouth, but clients come in and they say after a meal they feel like they just need to like nibble, like they need that sweet something after a meal, and that's indicative of dysregulated hormones and
Sure.
leptin and insulin. So putting a piece of gum in your mouth or putting a mint in your mouth, something that helps you to continue chewing, not only helps you to secrete more digestive enzymes to work on your digestive system, but it does take away that nagging, empty feeling of needing that something sweet after a meal.
Yeah.
So I
Cool.
normally wouldn't recommend, a sugar-free object to anyone or food to anyone, except that piece of fruit flavored sugar-free gum really does help. And then you have to sort of look at what's worse, them eating the chocolate bar or having a piece of gum, right?
Well, and they have the xylitol gums and stuff now too that you can
Xylitol
use.
gum is great because it also works for like your oral health. It's amazing. So that would be tip number one. Tip number two, if you are experiencing any digestive system, issues, steam your veggies. Try and lay off the raw stuff for a while and include a probiotic. You can get probiotics from food if you have fermented foods like sauerkraut or kefir, or you can take a probiotic. They are widely available now, in all different stores, easily accessible from any grocery store. We all have compromised gut health to some degree. So, including good bacteria is really helpful for pretty much your entire immune system.
Sure.
Drinking through a straw. So this one's really helpful. So in terms of water consumption, a lot of people don't take in water throughout the day, whether they're too busy or they don't like it. And I found with my clients, when I get them to drink through a straw,
I hear you.
They're more inclined to drink more, just, not with a meal. And then the last two I would say is maybe if you're having an issue with weight loss or hormones, skip the starchy stuff at dinner. That's not to say you can't have your carbohydrates throughout the day, but closer to the end of the day, unless you've just worked out or you're planning on working out, our bodies don't need to take in that much energy from the form of carbohydrates, especially if you're over the age of 40. Women specifically, they have a decreased ability to metabolize carbohydrates. And so if you're looking at losing weight, you want to lean out, just skip the starch at dinner and fill up on lots of veggies, steamed, proteins, and good quality fats. And the last one I would say is, what I said before is just because something works for somebody else, or just because you see 100 people on Facebook joining this like raw, movement or this juicing thing, doesn't mean that it's good for you. And you know your body best, and you should certainly honor your own body and listen to it, because you're the one that has to live in it, and it's your happiness and it's your health. And so seek out the people who are going to listen to you and help you strategically implement a plan that you can stick to and that works for you. So that would be, I think, my biggest take home, is just because it works for somebody else doesn't mean it's good for you.
Man, we got some belief bombs today. I'm loving them. They're sounding great. So Lori, usually when I have people on the call, they're usually like an author of a book, or they have a program or an exercise philosophy on board. But you do something a little bit different. You actually coach nutritionists. You teach them how to build nutrition businesses. You give them systems in place to teach them how to understand insulin and cortisol and testosterone and everything we've just mentioned. Can you tell us a little bit about that program? So if you guys are trainers, nutritionists, or if you're just passionate about this stuff and interested in kind of bridging the gap between the field, Lori is somebody who can really help you out with that. Lori, tell us more about that.
Sure. So it's called the WOW Professional Certification, and we're actually launching right now version 2.0. And so what I did is I took the model that we use at WOW Weight Loss, and it's a 12-week process of care model that's very client-centered. And so I've customized it into such a way that it's an 8-week online certification course for health professionals who want to implement a whole foods-based system into a new or existing business. And I feel really strongly about this. One, because weight loss as a subject isn't taught in any nutrition school, whether it's a university level or it's an online course. Weight loss as the subject and how hormones play into the role of weight loss or weight gain isn't taught. So I wanted to bring in my 7 years of experience, also working with a registered dietitian on my team, and really teach people how to facilitate weight loss in a way that clients, you guys listening, would appreciate and actually comply with.
Sure.
And so we took the model that I use, I private labeled it so everyone can sort of implement it as their own in their own business, and run through this 8-week online course where all the weekly modules are delivered via webinars, so you can learn at your own pace. And it really builds the connection between what you're already doing in your business and pieces of the puzzle that perhaps you're searching for online and you're not really being able to find answers all in one spot. And so that's what we do. I'm on a mission to improve the lives both physically and emotionally for 1 million people by 2022. And so I broke that down, 1,000 practitioners helping 1,000 people. And, we've effectively changed the health and happiness of 1 million people.
I think you're going to do it. If there's anything I know about this girl, is she's definitely going to achieve that goal. 2022, I'm putting it like 2015 maybe, right?
Yeah, we're pretty close. I mean, if you think about the trickle down effect, and we're sharing this now, and how many people are listening, and you're all going to go home and sit around the dinner table and be like, I heard this nutritionist and she told me not to drink at the meal, so put it down.
That's fantastic. So if you guys are interested, I get emails all the time from people who are interested in cracking into the fitness and nutrition fields. If you're interested, check it out. I'll post a link below the show. I'll post a link after the video. You guys can check it out. Lori, thank you so much for coming on the call.
Pleasure.
I would love to ask you right now, I've never done this before, if you'd come back on maybe in the new year and we could give some people some good tips.
I would love to.
That'd be fantastic. That'd be great.
Awesome.
We could do a great call and really motivate some people. I really enjoyed the information you shared today, so thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thanks.